Welcome back to our channel. We're absolutely thrilled to have you join us for another exciting video in our resin art series. For this video, we've got something really special lined up for you, a pattern we affectionately call the fish skin. Now, some folks say it looks more like fur, and we can totally see that too. But whether you see scales or fur, one thing's for sure, it's a really cool eye-catching design that's going to make you fall in love with resin art all over again. Now, if you've been following our channel, you'll know we'll be following the same basic steps we've shown in our previous videos. But don't worry if this is your first time tuning in, we're going to walk you through everything step by step. We believe in making resin art accessible to everyone. In this video, we don't actually show the mixing process. We typically spend about 3 minutes mixing the resin. Here's how we do it. We pour the resin from one bucket to another 3 times, dedicating about 1 minute to each transfer. This might seem like overkill, but trust us, it's super important. This thorough mixing ensures that the 2 components of the resin itself and the hardener, are completely and evenly blended together. This step is vital for achieving a proper cure and avoiding any sticky spots or inconsistencies in your finished piece. Once our resin is perfectly mixed, we move on to pouring it onto the board. Now, there's no hard and fast rule here, but we usually like to start by pouring around the edges first. This helps ensure we don't miss any spots. But hey, if you have a different pouring technique that works for you, go for it. The most important thing is that by the end of this step, you have an even layer of resin covering the entire surface of your board. No empty spots allowed. Next up is one of our favorite steps, using the torch. The torch serves 2 really important purposes. First, it helps pop any pesky bubbles that might have formed on the surface of the resin. These bubbles can ruin the smooth finish we're after, so zapping them with the torch is crucial. Secondly, the heat from the torch actually helps the resin move around better on the board. It becomes more fluid for a short time, which can help with creating certain effects. Now we get to the fun part, creating our fish skin pattern. For this, we'll be using paintbrushes in a pretty unique way. You'll see our team members pressing the brushes straight down into the resin, and then moving them slightly to the side in one smooth motion. They'll repeat this over and over again, creating a series of interesting textures and lines in the resin. One thing you might notice is that our team members switch sides a few times during this process. This isn't just to keep things fair, it actually helps ensure consistency in the pattern. You see, everyone has a slightly different hand movement, so by switching sides, we can make sure the pattern looks uniform across the entire piece.
Walls of stone, memories carved deep, gardens green.
We're really excited about this pattern because it's so different from what you typically see in other resin art videos. Just look at those lines and textures, it's such a beautiful effect, and the best part is, it's actually really easy to do once you get the hang of it.
My soul awakens with the morning rays, bright futures painted in these golden days. With each strike, the burden starts to lift.
If you're enjoying the content we're bringing you on this channel, we'd be over the moon if you could show us some love. Please make sure to follow us, leave a comment, we love hearing your thoughts and questions, and subscribe to the channel. Your support means the world to us and helps us continue creating these tutorials for you.
Whispers of the war behind, now it's time to find my peace in the home I left behind. Mountains echo with the tales of my fight.
Let's take a moment to appreciate the versatility of resin as a medium. It's amazing how we can manipulate this liquid material to create such a wide array of textures and patterns. From smooth, glossy surfaces to intricate, textured designs like our fish skin pattern, resin truly is a wonderfully flexible medium for artists and crafters alike.
Finally waves goodbye. Oh, the winds of change, they gently blow.
But we're not done yet. To really bring out that fish skin or fur-like texture, we're going to use a tool you might not expect. A cat hair removal tool. Yep, you heard that right. We're going to use this to stamp down onto the resin, creating even more texture and depth in our pattern. Just like with the paintbrushes, we'll keep repeating the same motion with the cat hair removal tool, moving slightly to the side each time. The key here is to maintain the same pace and distance between each stamp. This consistency is what will give us that uniform, natural-looking texture we're after.
Echoes of drums from distant lands.
Now here's a pro tip. For this pattern, it's a good idea to have 2 or 3 people working at the same time if you're doing a large piece. Why? Well, resin starts to harden pretty quickly, and it can be tough to get a consistent look if you take too long. Of course, if you're working on a smaller panel, this might not be as much of an issue. It's all about finding what works best for your specific project. Remember, practice makes perfect, so don't get discouraged if your first attempt doesn't turn out exactly like ours. Each piece of resin art is unique, and that's part of what makes this medium so exciting. We want to remind you all about the importance of safety when working with resin. Always work in a well-ventilated area, wear gloves and eye protection, and follow the manufacturer's instructions for the resin you're using. Safety first, always.
Whispers of the war behind now.
Now, we know some of you might be thinking, these patterns are great, but I want to see something a bit more artistic and unique. Well, you're in luck. While we've been focusing on some of the more common patterns used in interior design, hotels, fancy homes, and furniture, we've got plenty of more artistic and avant-garde designs coming up in future videos. We can't wait to show you just how creative you can get with resin art. After we've stamped our pattern and let it sit for a little while, we'll use some alcohol to get rid of any bubbles that might have formed on the surface. This step helps us achieve that nice, smooth, flat pattern we're after. It's these little details that really make the difference between a good piece and a great one. Now, we know that a lot of interior designers love to incorporate lines into their wall designs. So, to make this panel even more versatile and appealing, we're going to add one more step by putting in some lines. To do this, we'll use a special frame with lines built into it. Once we've got the frame positioned on the board, we'll press down on the lines with a metal tool for about 15 seconds. And just like that, we've added another layer of interest to our already stunning fish skin pattern. And there you have it, a beautiful, unique resin art piece that's surprisingly easy to create. We hope this tutorial has inspired you to try out this technique for yourself. That's all for today, folks. We really hope you had a fantastic time watching this tutorial and learned something new about working with resin. Remember, the key to great resin art is patience, practice, and a willingness to experiment. So get out there, try this fish skin pattern, and don't be afraid to put your own spin on it. Thank you so much for watching, and we can't wait to see you in our next video. Until then, keep creating, keep experimenting, and most importantly, keep having fun with resin art. See you next time.